In civil court, actor Alec Baldwin settling a lawsuit with the family of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, who this month last year was killed on the movie set Rust. But beyond that, production for the film will resume this January, even though Baldwin and others could still face criminal charges. Joining me now, attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, great to have you on. And this is a story that has attracted so much attention. Obviously, it's an undisclosed settlement. We don't know what it is, but it's interesting to see the 180 done by the husband of Halyna Hutchins, who did some interviews, media interviews, where he was saying that, Alec Baldwin was denying responsibility and he should be held accountable. Now, all of a sudden, we get a settlement. They're going to move forward with Rust, and my understanding is he's going to be an executive producer.
Yeah, hey, Jackie, great to be with you. Yeah, isn't this a staggering settlement? I mean, when the lawsuit was filed, it was all about gross negligence, recklessness on the production part. There was live ammunition. Days before, there were guns being fired at or near the set, and we have an armorer that isn't qualified. All of a sudden, it changes from that to, okay, let's settle the case. Let's not tell anybody how much the settlement is. And by the way, I'm going to go produce a film. It is a bit bizarre. One big takeaway I have from this, though, that really helps Baldwin is that he doesn't have to sit for a deposition, Jackie, in the civil case. That's when you get questioned under oath, right? Why is that important? Because he would have likely hung himself because he loves to chit-chat. He gives interviews left and right, and he probably would have contradicted what he's already told investigators, and that could have potentially led to an obstruction of justice charge.
Yeah, that's a great point. He's also done these interviews. I would imagine as an attorney, you would advise your client when there's a criminal investigation, you do not go down and sit down with George Stephanopoulos and start talking about the incident, but he did that anyway. And so the authorities would have that as well to see if there were contradictions in the stories and if the stories changed. That's a great point. Having said that, criminal case could still go forward. We're not 100% sure there. Your thoughts on the timing and how that could work?
Yeah, look, this isn't brain surgery. I mean, we know what happened on October 21st, right? I mean, Baldwin has a gun that's got live ammunition in it, and there's a death. Now, why haven't there been charges brought, at least on the armorer and the assistant producer who was supposed to have looked inside the gun before giving it to Baldwin, and possibly Baldwin as well? We're almost a year out. She died on October 21 a year ago. Why haven't there been criminal charges? What more do prosecutors need? It took them months to try to get any phone records or any cell phone records from Alec Baldwin despite a subpoena. To me, the optics don't look good for the investigators and the prosecutors. Looks like they're kind of patronizing with Alec Baldwin. But one other point I want to make, that the prosecutor has gotten authority to a little over $300,000 to prosecute this case. People know that now, so why haven't there yet been charges yet? Yeah, exactly.
That's a great point. And we also know, civil case has nothing to do with the criminal case, but in some ways, it does, because when you settle the civil case like this, you make amends with the husband of the slain woman, and you continue production of the movie. I believe one of the things that they had said, the reason that they were doing it was in her honor in some ways. You wonder if people won't look at Alec Baldwin a little bit differently with respect to this incident, if they wouldn't be a little more sympathetic to him, right? To say, well, her husband forgave him, so we should too.
That is such an excellent point, Jackie. Again, the optics of Baldwin settling with, or Matthew Hutchins settling with Baldwin and the other production team, it sends a message to the world that, hey, we don't really think he did anything wrong, right? I mean, Matthew Hutchins came out and said, hey, this was an accident, right?
Let's not attribute blame, I believe he said.
Exactly. So when the world sees that, it does filter into their system that maybe he didn't do anything wrong. And who knows, Jackie, maybe the prosecutors are now thinking, well, we're not going to have the husband really cooperating with us, and that gets to your other point. Usually when you're charging somebody criminally, you have the cooperation of the family, for example. Yes, we want to prosecute this guy. We want to prosecute the production team. And now they're saying, no, we don't care about that, and we're going to go make a film. And that's going to make it more difficult, I think, for prosecutors. But look, the good news here is that unlike a murder or sexual abuse case, you don't need Hutchins to cooperate in this case for the prosecution to go
move forward if they have enough evidence. Brian, great to see you. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks, Jackie.